Welcome, everybody. My name is Reno, and what I'm going to cover right now is talking about custom booking fields. So, what I mean by that is these are the type of questions that you're going to ask your customer. So, obviously, you have the standard name, last name, stuff like this, but you might want to know how can I ask additional questions and the different formats you can ask them. So, I'm going to use my account, Reno Falvo Photography, and be a little bit of your guide here, okay? So, right now I'm looking at my inventory items, okay? So, I have all my tours and activities listed. I'm going to go down to Owl Photography, and I'm actually going to show you one of my existing options, which is the 5 p.m. tour. Okay, I'm going to click edit just so that I can show you as an example. Okay, and you got at this stage, you're probably already familiar with the basics, like adding time, availability, pricing, that kind of stuff. But what you're going to do is you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And this is where you have booking fields. Okay, so there's two parts to this. So fields for each guest in the booking. So in my booking system, I've set it up that I require everybody's name, first name, last name, and their contact info. So I've made it mandatory they have to fill that in. Okay, you can create as an option, or you don't even need to ask for that information if you don't want to. I do it specifically because of waivers. Because if I ask for everyone's email address and I have 4 passengers, the waiver system will automatically email each passenger for them to sign their waiver. Okay, but that's totally up to you. And then you have your additional fields for bookings. And what's the difference? Okay, so this part here is specifically for each individual passenger. So these are the questions you're going to ask them. Additional fields is just meant as a whole. All right, so you can either ask a custom additional questions for each passenger, or if you're like, I just want to know a holistic group questions, you can do that. The format's going to be the same in terms of how it looks. So what I'm going to do is right now I have a memory card check price box, basically adding, oh, would you like to add a memory card in case a passenger doesn't have one? Or I've also set it up where I would like to know as a group, what is everyone's photography experience like, just so that I know. Okay, but I'm going to actually create one. Let's create a custom question here. Now, you have, like I mentioned to you before, there are many ways that you can ask it. So the field type is where you're going to start. So how do you want this to display? Do you want your customer to type in a short text box? You can do a checkbox itself, okay? You can do drop down, multiple choice, or a large text area. So there's different formats depending on how you want it to look, okay? It's totally up to you. Now that memory card part, when I actually am creating it as like an add-on, I'm actually doing it as a price checkbox, like as an add-on to the whole part of the sale. That's up to you if you want to use, okay? And you can pick that. Then you have the title that you would like to use. So let's say, for example, I would like to know, let's say random passport details. Okay, don't need to ask this here, but you can use that. Okay, and then you list the instructions. Please, please list passport number and expiration date. Okay, you can have that set up here. Okay, this can be set up whatever you like. And then you have the option to whether you want to make it mandatory, required, or not. That's totally up to you. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this. All right. Okay, we're going to keep this unlabeled. Now, imagine you have multiple options. You have tons of tours. You've got 10, 11, 12 p.m. You've got all these questions. Now, to prevent you from free typing all these things every time you've done add this field and you add these questions, it's actually saved, okay, within the system. So you can actually reload the same question over and over again because obviously you're going to ask the same kind of question for most of your tours. So let's say, for example, here, life jacket size. I click that, I click load, and this will show all the trips. So for example, I've got some tours that are on a boat. Now it is required that the customer needs to tell me what size life jacket they want, life jacket size they want, small, medium, or large. It's totally up to you how you want to set it up. Okay, like I said, how you ask your questions is totally up to you. The only thing that customers will get confused sometimes is this part here is questions for each individual customer, okay? who's going on, passenger, however you want to call it. And this one is just as a whole, holistic part of the group. So if it's everyone kind of question and whatnot. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Once you've done that, click Save Changes, and that will show up on the front end of your site. So if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. Otherwise, look forward to sharing the next video. Take care.